What's up, everybody? On today's video, I finally got my silver YouTube play button. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? We reached 100,000 subscribers, and boy has it been a journey. And on today's video, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're a creator, how you too can get to 100,000 subscribers. First of all, I never thought this day would come. It's been a lot of work. It's been exhausting. There's times where we've had to risk our lives to bring you guys content that's above and beyond. And sometimes we've had people who do not want the content that we've put out to be put out. And if you want to be a YouTube creator, your content has to be something special. It has to be something so different that it stands out. Your opinions, you can't be afraid to be unpopular. Right now, my most popular video is a short from Charlotte, North Carolina, where people are calling me racist. You have to tolerate and have a really thick skin, because many times you're going to do a great thing and people are going to call you out for something that you're not. And a lot of times I think the biggest fear that creators have is to really voice their opinions and be who they are, because they're afraid that they're going to get backlash. And a lot of times that backlash is what makes your channel blow up. And one of the biggest walls you're going to hit as a creator before you reach this point is simply being afraid of the backlash that you're going to get. You know, a lot of people dream about fame and they don't realize how costly fame is. So many people dream about this YouTube fame, but they don't realize the price tag that it comes with. Just yesterday, me and my wife were having dinner. We walk into a restaurant, and as soon as I walk in, a man stretched out his hand and said, "I love your videos." Sometimes there's people that don't love your videos. When you walk into a building, you walk into a store, you would trade your privacy and your person for money and fame. And that is something you would really want to consider, because even if you have the ability to one day get to this point, you trade a lot of privacy. And we get 100,000 subscribers 4 years into this whole journey. We were on YouTube since 2012, so it's been even longer. But we get 100,000 views every 2 days, roughly. That means that the vast majority of people who see my videos decide that they're not interested in subscribing. So even though my channel has 100,000 subscribers, if people liked me, I would have 1 million subscribers. But most people who see my videos don't want to subscribe, because the content that we put out is not always the most popular as far as popular opinion. I haven't been afraid to go against the current. There's times where people are trying to push a certain narrative, and we go against those currents all the time and express how we really feel, how we really see things, even if the way we look at things isn't the most popular. And I think it's that courage of not being afraid that has made people want to subscribe to our channel, because they know when they click on my videos, they're getting a genuine person. They're not getting an agenda. They're not getting a predetermined ideology. They're getting a real person. And I've had people approach me. I remember when I had my pigeon racing channel. Now that channel got to 50,000 subscribers. Then I quickly created a fishing channel. That fishing channel got like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers in a few months. It was quick. And I realized that I have the ability to make a YouTube channel about almost any topic and be successful. So why not make it about a topic that I like? But here's the thing about YouTube. You don't get to pick how you're going to get here. Your audience decides what they want from you. And I've had to go from one avenue to the next until I found what people wanted from me the most. I would rather be doing a fishing channel. My pigeon channel was amazing, and you know, we reached the pinnacle. My pigeon racing channel was the largest YouTube channel on that entire sport. Imagine that you have a hobby, you have a sport that you're into, and your YouTube channel becomes the #1 YouTube channel on that topic. That was a huge achievement. I got to interview Tony Malucci, which was the legend of that sport. And I got to meet incredible people and I made friendships in that sport that are still some of my biggest friendships today. But I had to walk away from it. And another hard part of YouTube is that it's that you have to recognize that, it's not just about getting those subscribers. It's not just about getting that fame. It's also about knowing who you are, where you belong, and what your obligation to society is as a creator. I've always been a responsible creator, and I have had a lot of other people approach me. Like I remember a few years ago, I had a young kid approach me. He had a channel with a few thousand subscribers, and he was like, "Hey, I saw how you blew up the pigeon channel, you blew up the fishing channel, and now you got this channel, Florida Hood Vibes, which is the rebranding of our current channel to Southern Life." And he was like, "I know you know how to blow up a YouTube channel. You've done it several times. I want your help. I want you to tell me the secret." So I was like, "Look, man, I don't normally give people my formula, but you got a few thousand subscribers, so I'm going to give you my formula." When I gave him my formula, he became very upset at me, and he actually quit YouTube after I told him my formula, because the formula to growing on YouTube isn't the formula that most young people idolize. I have little nephews, little nieces, and I love them, and they all tell me they want to be a YouTube creator. And when I ask them, "Okay, so what do you want your YouTube channel to be about?" they don't really have an answer. They don't even know what their direction is going to be. So how can you want the fame, you want this plaque, you want this fame, but you don't know the direction in which you're going to take your YouTube channel? You don't have any personal traits that can get you here. You haven't developed or discovered. I mean, they're talented kids. They have the ability to do anything they want, 100 times bigger than me. But you have to identify and you have to discover your talents and your abilities, because you're not just going to go on this platform with mediocre content and have 100,000 or 1 million people follow you. There has to be a talent. There has to be something. And a lot of times, I've been doing this since 2012, and since 2012, I've got people now in 2023 that still follow me. So over an 11-year trajectory, imagine that you've been following the same creator doing different types of content on totally different topics over a 10 to 11-year period. There's something there that once somebody does discover you, they're going to follow you through many evolutions of your YouTube creation process. And a lot of times YouTubers don't understand that it's not you that decides the content. It's not you who decides what you're going to be on this platform. Your audience will decide for you what direction your channel is going to take. Your audience is the one who's going to dictate if you're going to be doing fishing videos or if you're going to be doing comedy. Whatever you're doing, you don't get to do that. I like being a class clown. I like being a comedian. When I'm a comedian, my subscribers a lot of times don't even understand my comedy. And despite the fact that I want to be a comedian, it doesn't work out. It's not what I wanted to do. I never wanted to be a journalist. I like being behind the camera. I like video editing. I've been working on FL Studio since I was 15 years old. I like video creation. But how that skill, that inherent skill that I've been born with, is displayed to my audience is not something you get to determine. Whether it's music, whether it's just being in the background of somebody else, you're not going to be able to determine. You're only able to be who you are and recognize what your audience wants from you. So when people ask me for my YouTube growth formula, and I've told creators who already have a few thousand subscribers, my formula, they've quit on YouTube because they didn't like what I told them. They want to hear that they're going to go on YouTube and they're going to do some stupid stunts and they're going to get hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and next day they're going to be driving 6 months later in a Lamborghini. Let me tell you, that is not the way this works. So the trouble that I have with just giving you my YouTube formula of how I am successful, which, by the way, if you just look at my YouTube channel, you could figure it out if you have half a brain. But most people won't figure it out because they're looking at YouTube as fame. And what they don't realize is that fame will put your life in danger. That fame will make you have to move from one city to the next and from the next to the next, because everywhere you go, there's going to be people who are going to have a problem with you having a little bit of fame, a little bit of notoriety. And people get hurt over this. You know, we've seen so many careers cut short because of envy. And, you know, this is a full package. You're going to lose your privacy. You're going to lose old friends. You're going to struggle to make new friends. And, you know, while I've met a lot of people in the YouTube world, a lot of them simply do not seem like the type of people I would want to have in my circle. I recently got to meet, a little bit ago, Nick Johnson, and we sat down and we just talked numbers. And when I saw how much money you can make on YouTube, that motivated me to want, okay, when I met Nick Johnson in person and I saw how much money he was making, I was like, okay, I can do this. Now, it's not possible for me to go now and have 700,000 subscribers overnight, but I see, okay, he's at this level, you know, I can compete with him. Am I going to be better than him? He's got 700,000 subscribers. It's not going to happen overnight, but you see how it can be done. And when you see how it can be done, then you go out there and reach for it and try to accomplish it. But the biggest thing that I want you to know is that this right here almost has cost me my life. This right here has cost me friendships. This right here has cost me isolation from everything that I know, because to obtain this plaque, I've had to chase after so much content and disappoint so many people and do things that to a lot of people will forever alter their opinion about you. And a lot of people are not willing to put their dreams and their aspirations ahead of all that. And ironically, usually it's people who are crowd pleasers that want this. They want to be the crowd pleaser. They want to be the loved celebrity. They want to be looked up to and admired by everyone. And they don't realize that sometimes it's the complete opposite that comes along with obtaining this. So the formula to getting to this point, for one, I've had to invest a lot of money. Me and my wife are now renting an apartment, okay? We owned a house outright in Naples, Florida. We sold our house that was paid off and went out there and lived an adventure. And that adventure has literally cost us our life at points where we've been in situations where completely out of our comfort zone. You know, if I had stayed in Naples, I would have had a big YouTube channel, but I wouldn't be where I am today, traveling to Colorado, traveling to California, traveling to New York, going to Canada, and there's even bigger things ahead in our future, one of which I'm going to get to at the end of the video. But at the end of the day, this fame, this notoriety comes with a price tag. And in our case, it hasn't just been our safety, it's also been our loss of privacy and hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what people don't realize. From on this trip when we went to Colorado, that was $7,000 invested in that trip. This computer and this equipment and the programs that I run, I have Facebook groups that are into the thousands of followers. And when you have a talent, you can't hide it. It doesn't matter what platform I touch, if it's Facebook or YouTube or different types of YouTube channels. If you have a talent, you can do that talent no matter what. That's why you've heard musicians say, oh, this musician got discovered by so-and-so. Like, no, they weren't discovered by so-and-so. You know, you can't hide the sun with your finger. If somebody is shining bright, they're going to be successful no matter what. Doesn't matter the platform, doesn't matter what. If somebody's got talent, they're going to shine, they're going to be successful. And when you look at these young kids now that want this fame, a lot of times they don't understand that first you have to have that talent. You have to have that ability to trust. It doesn't matter what you're touching, you're successful at it. Like we've seen people who can sit down and sing, have a conversation, tell a story, be a comedian. They're diverse in their content. They have many talents, so they can do whatever. And you have to have talent. Without talent, you're not going to obtain this level. A lot of times people think you're just going to hit a blind, or they call it a one-hit wonder type of YouTube thing. That doesn't exist. This is a long road to success. And my formula has been a long-term key to success. But I'll tell you guys one secret that I've been guarding for a long time about YouTube that I feel is the real key to success on YouTube. Again, I believe that this platform is going to be around for a long time. And I don't hop on all these new social media things that are happening. Everybody hops on TikTok, or they hop on this, they hop on that, or I don't hop on any of that. I understand that YouTube is going to be here a while, and when I see young people that are 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years old, 12 years old, and you ask them what they want to be, they don't want to be a Britney Spears anymore. They don't want to be a singer. They don't want to be a firefighter or a cop. They want to be YouTubers. And I think a lot of creators and people who invest and speculate, they don't understand that the kids coming up now, they want this. This is what a 12-year-old kid wants. This is what a 5-year-old kid wants. When you find a kid that's young and you ask them, what do you want to be when they grow up? This is what they want. Okay, you have musical artists, okay, singers who will pack an entire stadium with people singing and partying. And you know what they do? They try to be YouTubers. I've actually seen people who will pack an entire auditorium with crowds. Artists, I mean, a Britney Spears or a singer or an Eminem would have been what every kid wanted to be many years ago. Well, those types of music creators today, they want to be YouTubers. They want to be podcasters and YouTubers. So even the people that have the real fame, they don't want the real fame. I've seen musicians. I believe that YouTube will be around 20, 30 years from now. And with that belief, you have to make a video today that will be more relevant. Are you listening? Because this is the secret to being a successful YouTuber. You have to create a video today that will be more relevant in the future than it is at the moment. And how do you know that? I've done videos in 4,000 towns, and all of a sudden a town that I've never thought would ever get views gets the views because something bad happens in that town. It's unpredictable. You can't really foretell the future. But if you focus on creating content today that will still be relevant 11 years from now on YouTube, there's videos on YouTube that were filmed 11 years ago and they're still relevant today. I mentioned reggaeton. If you guys remember that El Chombo made a reggaeton song. He wasn't even at the peak of fame back then. He was underground in an underground movement. But he made a song called Chacarón Macarón, which back then wasn't much. The internet picked it up, I don't know, 15, 16 years later, 14, I don't know how many years later. The internet today picked up Chacarón Macarón, and El Chombo, who's, I think he's Panamanian, has made more money off of El Chombo today than he made when the song. Can you imagine? You're an artist, you have you're an artist, you have a career, you make a song, the song wasn't much. 10 years later, this song becomes charting again because for some reason or another, people went back into the files of time to look for this content. Songs that when they were made initially were nothing, and now 20 years later, 40 years later, these songs are making a comeback because they were not in their right place of time. So what I'm trying to do on YouTube is I'm trying to create content today that will be relevant in the future. Things that today may not seem like much, but for some reason or another, somebody's gonna have to go back in time and my videos will be more relevant then in the future than now. And there's a few ways to figure that out. one of the ways that I figured that out is that since I've been on YouTube since 2012, I've seen some of my content re-emerge in the future, and I'm starting to understand what type of content becomes more valuable in the future than in the present. Becoming a famous YouTuber, Katie's drawing orcas. So Katie wants to go to Portland to see orcas, or somewhere where they have orcas. So in the future, we are going to go to the Pacific Northwest, I guess, and we are going to see these orcas that hopefully they look more normal. But anyways, Katie drew some orcas, and I totally forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so yes, the secret to being successful as a YouTuber is to not get carried away 3 hours a day drawing orcas, and just focus on your creating and stuff like that. You have to, if you know, I've noticed that every time I pick up a new hobby, whether it's painting or metal detecting or fishing or any hobby that I pick up, a lot of times that gets in the way of my, creation. So you also have to make sure that you don't get distracted, because this is a long-term thing. And a lot of YouTubers today, they're getting phased out. I've seen creators where they have this incredible, period of time where they're making a lot of creation, they're just going hard, but then they get phased out. It has to be more valuable, and you just never know. I might interview a homeless person on the street today, and tomorrow that homeless person could, be a famous musician or something, or they could win the lottery, or who knows what. Like, you just have to capture something now that will be in the future more significant. Maybe in the future we won't have homelessness, or we'll have so much homelessness that there's no telling. The point is to go out there every single day and capture something about today that will change the trajectory or be more significant in the future. And I can go out there today and I can capture a new story that's happening right now. I can go right now, turn on my police radio, go out there and capture a story today that today will get 100,000 views or 10,000 views tonight, but tomorrow nobody's ever gonna click on that content again. And what I wanna do on YouTube is I wanna create a content today. Like, if I go to your town and I give you your opinion about the town, but now 10, 15 years pass and the town becomes a boom town, people that live in that boom town are gonna go back and look at the video when the town was nothing. Or if a town was beautiful today and tomorrow it goes to crap, people are gonna go to that and be like, wow, this is what this town looked like before it went to crap, or something along those lines. But whatever it is you do, don't just think about how many views this video is gonna get tonight. Think, how many views will this get 10 years from now? Because there's content on YouTube right now that is 11 years old that I'll still watch today, because it captured a period of time that for some reason or another to me was sentimental or important. And that's really the key to success on YouTube, is if you're just looking to blow up right now and have fame right now, go to Instagram, go to TikTok, because this is a long-term platform. This is something that's going to be around for a long time. The only thing that can destroy YouTube are the laws that are put in place. I am afraid that eventually the laws are going to change and the monetization will become more difficult. Hopefully those laws that could destroy this platform or cripple its monetization abilities do not take place, because I do realize that this is one of the largest companies in the world, and companies shrink, grow over time, and sometimes everything changes in the future, and I could be wrong. I could think that YouTube's going to be around forever, and it's not. But at the end of the day, you have to really think hard on the laws. Will they make a law that makes monetization and ads on these videos more difficult? That could definitely destroy the platform, but you'll still be able to upload the platform, you'll still be able to use the platform, but are you gonna make $10,000 a month? Are you gonna make $20,000 a month then? Probably not. So even then, if you've generated a fan base around the monetization and not around the following and just genuine people that appreciate your content, even if there's no monetization, it's a great asset to have. The problem is that when you only focus on the money side of it, you really give up a lot of what if the money goes away? What do you have now? Even if you have 1 million subscribers, what type of channel have you created? What type of following have you created? And I think I've created a following that even if the monetization were to disappear, that following are real people in my community that I could start other business ventures with, that I could sit down and have dinner with. And well, that's what I got. I hope you guys liked this video on how to reach 100,000 subscribers. And the sad reality that most creators don't really have the endurance to actually get to that point because they're just looking for quick fame. Dude, your painting destroyed my fingers.
You destroyed my painting.
No, your painting destroyed my fingers.
Now you're on a commercial.
I don't care, that's how I get paid. Your painting harmed my hands. Get off me. Go clean the house.